Hey guys, here's your video notes for tonight. Basically, I'm going to go over a few of these. It says find the inverse of each function. Remember that to find an inverse, you switch the x and the y and then solve for y. So this is pretty much more finding the inverse. Now I'd like to go over some of these with you real quick. Switching the x and the y is the first step. And then solving for y is the second step. So we would undo our addition. Okay, remember when you have a fraction and you want to cancel it out, we multiply by the reciprocal. Remember, the reciprocal means to flip the fraction. The numerator becomes the denominator becomes the numerator. And we want to multiply both sides by the reciprocal. So 4 over 1 is the same thing as multiplying by 4. So we're going to get 4x plus 16 equals, do not forget, some of you are forgetting to put the inverse on the y. So this is our inverse function. Okay? So notice our original function was linear. The inverse is also linear. Let's take a quick look at number 3. Switching the x and the y. Okay? Now in this case, we have really one big fraction here. And what we want to do here is we want to undo the fraction first. Okay? So this is divide by 7. So the inverse operation is multiply by 7. Okay, we're going to multiply both sides by 7. So those cancel. And go ahead and finish this on your own. Let's take a look at number 4. Again, we switch the x and the y. And then we solve for y. Remember, solving means to isolate the letter that you're trying to find to solve for. Okay? So we have x plus 9. Okay? Now, to undo the inverse of squaring is square rooting. Okay? So squaring and square rooting cancel, they're inverses. So we're going to have the inverse of y, the inverse of y, here's y, the inverse of y. Okay, so this is something, number 6 on yesterday's claw, quite a few people missed this. This is going to be plus and minus the square root of x plus 9. Don't forget the plus and the minus, because if you only do the positive, you're only going to get part of the graph. Okay? Let's go ahead and go to number 6. Switching the x and the y. Whoops, forgot the equal sign. Okay, solving. Remember, we undo adding and subtracting first. So we're going to undo the minus 3. We undo multiplying and dividing. There's nothing being multiplied except a 1. Undo exponent next. So we're going to undo squaring next. So we're going to square root. So we get the square root of x plus 3. Okay, because these cancel. And then we do parentheses. What's inside the parentheses? So what's inside the parentheses is adding. So we're going to subtract 2 on both sides. Now be careful. Pay attention. Pay very close attention. We're going to have the square root of x plus 3, little tail, okay? And then the minus 2 goes on the outside. Do not combine these two. And there is your inverse function. So what do you notice? The inverse of a quadratic is a square root. Let's go down here to part 2. Square root functions. So here we are. Graph each function on your calculator. State the domain and range. Okay? So let me get my calculator. Alright, are you guys excited for Christmas break? Because I know I am. Second square root, which is the x squared, and our first one is 3x, so 3x. Alright, now we want to do the domain and the range, so let's take a look at the graph. Alright, so the domain, remember domain goes from left to right, so our left domain value is 0. It's a continuous graph. There's no holes in this graph. So we're going to use the inequality symbols. And when it goes all the way to the edge of the window, it usually means it's going to continue to go on infinitely. So we're going to go on to infinity to the right. Don't forget, infinity doesn't get an equal sign. Okay? Remember, domain is left to right. So my furthest left domain value is 0. My furthest right domain value is infinity. Alright, let's take a look at the range. Remember, range goes from the lowest to the highest. Okay? So the lowest point on this graph that I can see is 0. Because we're looking at the y-axis this time. And we're using y. And it's going to increase. It's going to go up to the highest point. It's going to go up infinitely. Lowest, highest. Okay? So, let's see. Let's take a look at B. Let's go to y equals. It got x plus 2. So basically, this is our parent function. Move 2 units to the, that's right, left. So what's changing here? Domain or range? One of them is changing and one of them is staying the same. Make a prediction. That's right, the domain is changing. Now which value is changing, the left value or the right value? Ah, the left value, correct. The left value is changing because the parent starts at 0 and goes to infinity. So this one got moved 2 units to the left. So this one's going to start at -2. And it's going to go to infinity. Whereas the range still starts at 0 on the y and goes up infinitely. I think you get the picture. All right. Why don't you don't have a calculator, so you probably can't do these at home. But let's see. Let's go over these parameter changes real quick here. Here we have a reflection over the x-axis. Okay. Now I'm not going to talk about the parameter changes here because we have a number on the x, which is a horizontal. Actually, in this case, this is a horizontal compression. So I'm not going to discuss that right now. This is going to be 6 units to the right and 5 units down. Okay, so tomorrow when you get here, we're going to go ahead. This is going to be the claw for tomorrow when you come to class. So if you want to get a head start on it, go for it. See you tomorrow.